everyone. Welcome to the Table Talk Show. I am Kay, and we are doing this. This is David over here. We have a special guest today. Before we get to that, there is a content strike for Palestine going on. We are participating, supporting that. We are on this week because we've had this awesome guest booked for months, and our content calendar has filled up. So if we didn't do this now, it was going to be a challenge, especially given the time zone difference, and we will talk about that as well. So you will not see either of us again until, good gravy, next week at the Chaosium Talk Show, unless you're in our Discord. We might be doing some fun things there. So if you are not in our Discord, please do.
I think we need fresh Pixel Chat links.
Are they not going through? Okay.
Wait, mine is going through.
Okay, mine. Yep, I think mine's going. Yep, mine's going through.
Okay, cool. But with that, is it
yours
not going
isn't.
through for you? I did send you a fresh one. Did you click? You did.
No, ours are working. Yours is not.
Did you click on the fresh one?
Try now. Am I behaving? Do I have words?
Hey, Rex. Hey, Mimics and Misfits.
Hey, Rex.
Yeah,
hey,
you
Matt.
have words now.
Okay, cool. Sorry, y'all. Tech gremlins be tech gremlining. MrLiveProducer. Oh, actually, before I do that, David, who the heck is you and what the heck is we doing here?
Us together are battling tech gremlins. No, hi. I'm David. This is the Chaotic Wholesome Presents Table Talk Show, where every week we talk about TTRPG stuff, how to be a better player, how to be a better GM, how to be a better person, how to organize your cables, all with a focus on intersectionality and inclusiveness so that everybody can have a good time.
And speaking of organizing cables, and we're going to talk to someone who does really, really cool stuff on the production side. Those of you who are wanting to do cool things with your streams, you are in the right place today, because we're going to talk to one of my favorite people, MrLiveProducer. Who the heck is you? And what brings you here?
Well, I'm a MrLiveProducer. I do a lot of work in a multitude of fields. My day job is I do live video production for combat sports events. So that's MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and other kind of stuff. And I've been able to...
Low pressure.
Yeah, low pressure. Yeah, it's not like you got a whole... I think the most I've done is like a 36 fight event. So that's about 36, about 7. Yeah, that was a fun show. That was like a day and a half worth of just fight shows.
It's not like the audience is hyped up on adrenaline and...
everything else.
The fighters.
Oh, yeah. The amount of people who always come to me during a show saying the stream is buggered up is absolutely insane, because their friends cannot watch it on an old T8086 for something. It is insane the amount of stress that goes on with this job. It is insane. But I've been able to translate my production skills from that point to not only live streaming production for TTRPGs and my personal VR stuff, but also using the skills I've learned in other stuff. That's right. My skills and other stuff to actually go into doing Roll20 VTT conversions. So I've worked with a couple of companies, the most to do their TTRPG conversions, mostly Chaosium. So if you played any of the more latest Roll20 conversions from Chaosium, I probably had a hand in those. So I said, I am a multitude of things squished into one thing, and I am absolutely awesome at everything.
And
no pressure.
You do all sorts of really awesome work with OBS. If you were trying to figure out ways to set up your OBS, MrLiveProducer is one of the bravest human beings I know, because he had his entire OBS, StreamerBot, everything set up, and he went in and hit delete all, and then rebuilt it all on stream.
Yep, I'm still rebuilding at the moment. I just finished doing the... Well, if we want to go into this, so I am a big Persona fan because of the games. It's pretty much adult Pokemon, if you really want to take it that way. So I have rebuilt a lot of my stream alerts and everything along those lines to be an actual Persona 5 related alerts. So if you want to, should have dropped you a link. Actually, I can do that. Give me a second. But so when people join my channel, it auto generates you a skill. And I'm using those skills to build character sheets for every person who comes in. And every time you sub and resub, it builds more characters. And I'm going to eventually implement a battling system into chat. So two people can battle each other, and the actual chat can decide who wins based off their skills. At the moment, I am still building the character sheets for the people. So I can actually have data to build from.
Yes. And if you hang out in our channel, our Pathfinder Party Up StreamerBot Redeem was coded by MrLiveProducer just for us. Because, generous and talented.
And you came up to me with an idea and went, is this possible? And I went, give me about half an hour. And I went, you know what, we got working.
That was literally... Candace says people keep talking about this Persona game, and I think I might have to dip a toe in it. Matt says I haven't played Persona, but I did play Digimon Cyber Sleuth, which is apparently designed like a Persona game, and I love it. I love Cyber Sleuth. I don't like the character designs that much, but I like Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah. The point of perspective, I collected video games, as you can see. This is a photo from my collection 2.5 years ago. It's been double stacked. I think the last count was about 2,100 physical games I own.
So many. Rex says, chat battle, chatters. No, that sounds bad. Bachelors, that sounds like a game show. Need to workshop this.
Hey, nothing wrong with good workshops. Trust me. It is... I have been finding that we're streamers, we're entertainers. So what we have to do is work out how we can bring our chat into the actual stream to make them feel like they have a connection with us as streamers. We are entertainers, but we also need to pivot ourselves to be what the viewing audience needs. And if you check your Discord, Kay, I sent you your one. So when a person follows, it also saves a photo of their redemption alert, so I can keep an eye on stuff to make sure everything is done properly. So it is insane the amount of work which I'm doing to the back end, and this is stuff that people don't see. It's like I built the actual front end on stream. I built the back end off stream because it took me 12 hours to work out how I wanted to do everything, including the movement, the transition sources, and the amount of modifications and everything around it. Is like there's 320 different skills that I've got listed in there, and each one of those has an emote at the front, custom CSS to actually do the actual colors to make it look like the actual thing from Persona, and then there's like 20 different variations on the follow alert, 20 different variations on the sub and resub, because I always find that bots, when you have someone who just drops a follow, it says, hi, welcome to blank, and it's always very, very linear. So what I like in bots and redemptions and everything that has personality. That way it builds your brand and it helps with everything else.
I'm tired already. I need a nap.
You need a nap?
Just from hearing this took me 12 hours to set up. How many skills did you say there were?
Hey, DC.
About 320.
Thank you for the raid.
Thank you, DC. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, all chatters. If you don't know, welcome to this lovely, crazy mob of people.
And yes, speaking of naps, while it's 6 o'clock for me, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon for David. It is 9 a.m. for MrLiveProducer, who got up bright and early to be with us all the way from Australia.
Yes. The joke is Cry's in Australian time zone. I mean it physically. It is absolutely insane.
Hey, JD, welcome on in. So yes, we're talking with MrLiveProducer, who does all sorts of incredible stuff, much along the lines of DC Lacerre, who just so kindly gave us a raid, and I hope you're enjoying Octopath Traveler 2 as much as I hope to be enjoying it soon.
Oh, that's a fun game.
I can't wait to play it. So MrLiveProducer, as you might have guessed from the name, does live production and has translated a bunch of that live production into TTRPG stuff, and is also I would like to say like a Pokemon master of StreamerBot, to the point where he is credited in StreamerBot. Hey, Leslie, tell us about that.
Yep.
Tell us about the magic you work with StreamerBot.
Okay, what I do... It's okay. First off, StreamerBot is a great program and I love it to pieces. It's not the most user-friendly program. You have to think like a programmer, because the original developer, Nate, is a programmer. Mm-hmm. And you always have to think about the program you have to think about it in steps. Like, I want to do this. What's the pre-setup I need to do to get that? So if you want to show a person's photo, you need to get the photo. How do you get the photo? You need to get the information from the person. So you have to think about StreamerBot in the way that a programmer would think. So if you're going to do StreamerBot stuff and any OBS type of stuff, flowcharts are your friend. Work out what your end goal is and work backwards to what you need. But I am on the StreamerBot ambassador team as well, so I spruik the program. But I also am part of the alpha team, which means I get to look at all the alphas and I do troubleshooting and basic stuff. I'm not as insane on StreamerBot as some other people, but I'm more from a creative and development side. So I would like to do this. Like, one of the new things that's come down in StreamerBot now is... Actually, let me have a look. All this stuff isn't under NDA, so I can talk about this. I just need to actually go to the program because he has
familiar with that NDA dance. Like, can I talk about that? Hold on. When can I talk about that? Not today.
Yes. So one of the new things in the alpha is they are incorporating Elgato Camera Hub events. So if you use an Elgato Camera Hub for your camera, like this camera here is a face cam, you can actually get to turn the camera off and on. You can get to change stuff. There's going to be so much more information about that. They're also working on Trovo, VStream, and even the Elgato prompter. They're bringing that stuff into the program as well. Nice. So there's going to be a whole lot of new content when it eventually gets into beta. And that should be soon, hopefully.
Very cool.
Nate is one of those people who sees, oh, this is possible, and then like this alpha's been like 3 months now in this version. But there's a lot of stuff coming, and including the pronoun support is going to be inbuilt into StreamerBot.
Yes, because
so you won't have.
There is a script to like have pronoun support.
Yes,
I couldn't fit my head around it.
That is going to be inbuilt into the program. For a lot of the streamers who stream, especially when they want to support people and their pronouns, even for chat, it is going to be an absolute godsend without having to worry about all the scripting and all the stuff you have to use to do for pronouns. Yes. But that's coming in the new version of StreamerBot.
DC Lacerre says they are very much looking forward to the face cam things.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to look at the thing. Some of the new Elgato prompter, and I can actually tell you some of these. You can set your font size, you can set your font, you can set the opacity, you can set the line spacing, horizontal, vertical, brightness, auto scroll state, and set mode. There's some of the new things that's coming to Camera Hub's teleprompter software. So you can have keyboards on your StreamerBot to actually just control that. Even just from a non-stream point of view, having the ability to control that kind of content through a Stream Deck is extremely great. I would just love to have this type of StreamerBot for my actual day job, my actual day program, which is vMix.
Yes.
So I use OBS as my personal one, but it's a program called vMix, which is made for broadcast for broadcast. It's absolutely insane. I think it's like almost two grand for the version that I run USD, and that's with 8 camera replay, and other kind of stuff which I need for my day job. Oh yes, yeah, I have to ask to say this.
So you programmed that, like you get that going, and
Yes.
then in your free time you do the same thing with OBS, and
Yes.
then in your free time from that you tinker with and brand ambassador StreamerBot, and you play video games. So
Yes.
what I hear
and does
is that
Roll20 TTRPG conversions.
Yes.
So what I'm hearing is that the last time you slept, what I'm trying to think of, like,
1987.
yeah. I'm trying to think of like some historical thing that happened in Australia, except my my knowledge of Australian history stops at when all the convicts got off the boat.
You know what, the amount of stuff that I do, I don't blame you there. But I also am a full-time carer for my partner as well. So that's one of the reasons why I can do this. I stay at home a lot, but I've been able to convert a lot of my skills to work at home. The only times I need to leave home is for my MMA combat sports events. Yeah, but if you have any questions in chat that you want to ask, please feel free. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have.
I am.
But yeah,
Sure,
I'm
chat
glad
is going to be excited. Like OBS tricks, StreamerBot tricks. Like this is the master, y'all.
Like one of the things, no, don't get me wrong, I love OBS. The way that they handle text is absolute balls. No kerning, no ways to adjust spacing. So I've actually had to get around that by using Exceldro's Markdown. So Exceldro is a OBS plugin creator. If you do any stuff with Excel, if you do any stuff on OBS, 9 times out of 10 you've used Move Source. You've used anything. Exceldro is the person who programmed all that stuff. So if you've got some time, work out the Exceldro's Markdown text, which allows you to do everything in CSS. So if you want to adjust the kerning, you can do it in the kerning through the CSS.
Okay.
And that's something which I've been working on for, again, one of my alerts. But having the ability to change Markdown requires OBS Raw. OBS Raw is a way to actually adjust the direct way that OBS works. So you can have an action that creates like multiple different setups and everything, but actually connect to OBS. So if you were going to be giving somebody like what I would do for you is like if I developed a full screen effect, instead of I would probably give an OBS Raw, or if I develop something for sale, I would have to create an OBS Raw thing to actually create everything without having to sit on a voice call and talk you through. Because that can be a bit of a challenge sometimes.
Yes.
Especially with the way that OBS runs.
David is all too familiar with that.
And like there's a reason that so many people who've done like tech support on the phone or over the internet drink heavily, is because it's tough. Because someone will be looking at their computer and go, okay, I have to hit the any key, but I don't know which one that is. And you're like, dope, fantastic. And
this is where we are today.
And you know, it's not necessarily because like they're not very smart. It's not because they're dumb. It's because that like there is a literacy to computers. And like one of the things that I hear about, and I'm actually like dealing with because I have a niece and nephew, is how tech literacy is actually declining because kids these days don't use computers. They touch things on a tablet, the end.
Yeah.
And you know, if you've ever downloaded anything on LimeWire, we're going to say legally for the purposes of the stream, then you immediately know about antivirus. You know about installing and setting up software. Like, you know about download locations. There are all these things that
You
over the
know
course
to be
of just
careful what QR codes you scan.
right.
Oh yeah.
So there are all sorts of you know to be careful about like what links you click on. And so you add on top of that like a highly technical program like OBS or a highly technical program like StreamerBot. And then you're trying to talk someone through, especially if you can't see their screen.
Oh.
And this
Like,
person is also usually on the spot. And we all know, like, I've worked with David for a long time. David is an intelligent individual. And every so often, David will be like, that thing doesn't exist. And I'm like, David, I'm looking at your screen. It's right.
Yeah,
It's to
you
the
just
left
click
of
it
where
right
your
there.
mouse is. No, it's not. No, David, it is. I just saw it. I am so embarrassed. I'm like, oh, you're on the spot, right?
and if you look at my chat history with Kay, it's about 76% memes, but 20% screenshots of, okay, I'm trying to figure this thing out. Please look at this screenshot and tell me that I haven't completely lost my mind. And Kay will be like, so you know that thing that's right there that you're looking at? And I'd be like, can't be there. Not me. Not on my Christian Minecraft server, absolutely not. So yeah, so like it presents an additional challenge. And like in the green room, we were talking about like sound engineering, and like, you know, like
Audio's
part
the
of
worst
why
part.
audio is so tough, and like one of the main reasons that the little indie show that you go to in a small bar sucks is because not only do they not have a sound engineer, they have a guy who's like touching things on an iPad. But in addition to that, like that sound system is 30 years old, maybe longer, and used substandard equipment when they started and hasn't been upgraded. And no one knows what anything is because the guy who set it up sold the bar 25 years ago. And it's just it's this big confluence of things. So yeah, like back to my original point.
You had an original point?
I always have an original
Okay.
point. I'm an originalist. No, that's a whole different conversation. But there are layers upon layers upon layers of like things that you have to work through in order to, and it's really frustrating. And it doesn't mean that. And again, like I said, it's not necessarily that the end user is a dumbass. It's that,
Might be, but not necessarily.
I'm really trying to give them credit because
occasionally the end user is, but often
everybody who's worked tech support, like from back in the day, has the story of the person who turned off a monitor and turned it back on and is like, I restarted my computer, and I literally had that happen to me. Yeah. And it was so tough that I had to get them to go to the wall and unplug it and then plug it back in. And they'd be like, all right, now I need you to start like finding like the big gray box and pressing buttons on it until it fires up.
Yeah.
Like that's how I got them to restart the.
Matt says, David, why must you hurt me with that story? Yeah. I
know. One of my original jobs, sorry for interrupting, is I used to do IT support for government here in Queensland. Oh, I did. Okay, yes, I live in Brisbane, Queensland. No, I don't make any bones about it. Because of the nature of my job, I am very open about where I am because if you just type in my name, MrLiveProducer, and you'll see exactly where I am because of my combat sports stuff.
Right.
Like, I think my little calendar is like, I've got 25 events. I'm getting booked for new ones every couple of days. I think I just got booked for a comedy show in about 3 weeks' time.
Ooh.
Which is going to be interesting.
It's going to be a different vibe.
But yeah, just a bit. Just less tables, hopefully.
Way more hostile. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
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 Yeah. Yes. Way more hostile, yeah. But that's the thing, is like I work government IT, so I am used to having to say talk down people from having a complete culinary because in government it has to be done right there and then.
Right.
It's like, okay, Stan, okay, I know you understand. You have a problem, sir, and that we're going to sit down and we're going to work this out together. So what? Well, like, you tell me what the problem is.
Going
I
full
can't
hostage
print.
negotiator.
It's pretty much from IT is the concept of the 5-second friend. Work out what they need and where you need them to be, and try to talk them to the point where you can actually talk to them on their level,
Yes.
but don't have to reiterate to the point that it's going to be adversarial.
Yes.
And
Matt says he had someone shut down their whole building by looping the Ethernet cables.
That hurts me on a physical level.
Rex says, I had a man worry that the words would go away when he got to the bottom of the screen. I didn't want to lose what he had written. He had never written more than a screen's worth in an email in his entire life.
And this brings up the point that David said earlier. Everyone is smart in their own way. Computers have the way to make every one of us look like complete idiots.
Have either of you, I know you have, David, because I think I made you. Have you played Minute, M-I-N-I-T?
Doesn't ring a bell.
It is
You should.
one of the most beautifully crafted games I have ever seen. Your character dies every 60 seconds. Hey, Jen. Your character dies every 60 seconds. It is black and white. It is pixel art. It is old school retro, and it is some of the most beautiful game design I have ever seen. It's like a riff on The Legend of Zelda.
Very
but
nice.
It's one of those old school games where like you walk to the map and then you walk, you go between screens. And I was at a Twitch meetup in California, and this adorable young queer Zoomer was talking about game, and I'm like, check out this one. And I hand them this, my Switch, and they start running around, and they're like, I can't leave the screen. I'm like, what do you mean you can't leave the screen? And they're like, I can't go anywhere else. I can't leave this screen. Because he was so used to the map following.
Moving.
He didn't know that they had to walk off the screen and that would make it move to the next screen. That was a game literacy that this person just did not have.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about like not just game literacy, but different types of literacies on this channel. Like I refer back to the video series where a guy was married to a woman who'd never played video games. And he gives her Ocarina of Time, and she's stuck on a puzzle because there's a locked door with no doorknob and no key. And she's like, what am I supposed to do? And she's standing next to an unlit brazier and standing next to a fire. And literally all of us are like, you pull the stick out, you take the fire, you light the unlit. And she's like, in what world does that unlock a door?
Yes.
And the answer is in video game world. And like
it's
every the further you get into it, like an expertise, the more of its own language you develop. And so we could sit and talk about programming for 45 minutes straight, and a normie is going to be like, I understand. I know some of those words from the dictionary.
My father, military vet, freaked out when my brother and I were talking about how much we love RPGs. He's like, why are you playing with grenades?
Yep. Yeah.
Because they're fun. And they make a very nice boom when you hit the floor.
Like, how is this happening?
And where do you get the grenades?
Have a good explosives.
Oh yeah, we do. It's like the RPG backstory bomb that you always love to drop in game. But to take it back to David's point earlier, they're called I think it's the moon logic puzzle that we have a lot from in game development terms. So a lot of LucasArts games were actually notorious for the moon logic puzzle. It was like a rubber chicken is a pulley to get down a rope in the original Monkey Island. And since we grew up with this type of we grew up with these games, we understand that combine A with B and you'll get C. It's something that people don't expect.
Yeah. We're entering a really interesting point with how quickly technology has evolved too. That like,
oh yeah,
kids know that the little save disc means save, but they don't know why it's shaped like that disc. And then I had a great moment because they've never seen floppies. They don't know what a floppy disk is. They just know that that's the shape of a save thing.
And they don't know that the little hard thing that's a floppy disk is a floppy disk because it's not floppy.
Right. And this is not my generation, right? But I heard this from someone else. Apparently, the opener to the Kim Possible song is like, text me, beep me, page me if you want to meet me or something like that. And there are Reddit posts popping up now where these kids are going, what does page me mean? And y'all, take note of this because this is so much fun if you are playing time traveling or like dysphoric things. Because a character that I have yet to get to play that was actually a character I wanted to play that kind of became a cornerstone of the God Plane. Like, I didn't get to play this character in the God Plane, but the idea of this character turned into the God Plane. Was that I had the idea that this character had like a key, right? And the tribal leader and had a key around the neck. And the key was almost seen like a magic wand. And they had an understanding that this key could open things, but they didn't know how or why because locks and keys had been lost so long ago that all they knew was that somehow keys opened things.
And it's true, keys do indeed open things. But yeah,
Moon
like
logic
just
puzzles. Keys open things.
right. And
like before too long, we're going to be in a place where it's all key cards. And what are keys actually going to mean? They're going to mean a little piece of plastic.
And what's funny is if like for those of us who played Doom in 1994, the key cards are little cards that have an outline of a key on them, and we're gonna end up with like the save floppy disk thing where people are gonna be like, though I think we are a bit a ways before like physical keys become obsolete.
Oh yeah, and look, key cards are not necessarily good. You don't want a key card on your front door if you're renting because your landlord can track that. So, also be careful of your ring. Just saying. I work in technology. Be careful of technology.
Yeah, if it's not a physical barrier, it can always be gotten around.
Well, and also, again, privacy and tracking.
Yeah.
And
but
one last point. For those of you who are watching, that one of the most important tech concepts that isn't taught to anyone, but you need to keep in mind, is that every device that you have that connects to the internet is designed explicitly to talk to other devices. And that for a very long time, getting that device to either not talk to other devices at all or to be picky and choosy about who they talk to and who they exchange information with was an afterthought. So everything that you have that's connected to the internet, assume that people you don't want to talk to it are trying to talk to it.
Yes. I could go into a whole thing about how I have a separate internet line on a separate modem router from my actual mainline internet simply because I don't want people to get into my smart devices and then into my main thing. Don't want to deal with it. But enough of that. I want to talk. So MLP, you spend a lot of time doing some really cool custom stuff. And like you said, it is the streaming space is very full.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people. There are only so many audiences.
Give me one moment to have door knock. It's always the way.
Always how it is. But yes, so if you are hanging out and you are free Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday, maybe Saturday evening, please do pop into our Discord. And if you are interested in playtesting a little something with us, you have to sign an NDA, but we're doing some playtests. We've done one, we're going to do more. And I am very excited to share with you all what we're working on. So.
Also, let us let us talk about, like, very briefly cover how it is. The whole culture around answering your front door has changed.
Oh yes.
Because if I hear a knock at the front door, the lights turn off, the movie stops, and I am not at home.
There was a
I'm not
great,
here.
it's like, why does our generation react this way? It's like, because our parents left us at home and said, don't answer that door no matter who's knocking. Also, there's like door-to-door salesmen and Jehovah's Witnesses and like...
Also, like what good thing happens when an unexpected person knocks on your door? If somebody rolls up to my house, I've got text messages, I've got phone calls, I've got somebody's like location on my phone. Like, I know you're coming. I know you don't gotta knock. You just pull up out front. I know you're there. So if you knock on my door, you ain't supposed to be here.
At some point, I will tell you, for those of you who don't know, I grew up way out in the country. Like, grocery store was a half-hour drive away. Nearest neighbor was 2 miles away. I was closer to a big cat rescue than I was the grocery store. Middle of the night, I heard the accident happen on the road. Half an hour later, someone shows up and knocks on our front door.
Wowzers.
But
that's how a horror movie starts.
Yeah, I was like, but going back to what I was trying to pivot to, there are only so many eyeballs. We are like, and David and I have made it very clear that our stance, our genuine belief, and the only way to get ahead in the streaming space is to all work together and to not see every other streamer as competition. If you see everyone else as competition and someone you need to beat, you are not going to get far. You are going to burn yourself out. You're going to be a very unhappy person. I'm sorry. So with keeping in mind, like, we are not saying this is how you win, this is how you beat other people, but like MLP said, you do want to have, your stream have personality. You want your brand to be clear and fun, and be it playful, be it serious, be it the best, whatever it is. And a really good way to do that is through not just your personality as a streamer, which is important, but also your graphics, your overlays, and the various redeems and interactables you have on your channel. MrLiveProducer makes some really, really cool ones. Including, I want to talk about, you have a redeem where you will actually generate someone a playable Call of Cthulhu character.
Yes, that's correct. So I need to rebuild it though, because it is almost complete. Yes, I need to rebuild it. But I've actually got all the old, because one of the ideas is people love interactivity. They love to have something unique to them. So I actually had before the rebuild, I had 2 completely unique effects. One was, as you said, the Call of Cthulhu character generator, which that was all done through StreamerBot. No C# was required. So what I did was it went through, generated all the stats, and then using a text file which had all the backstories, we just choose a random backstory and a random location, and everything else was random. But it'll give you a really good point to work from. So I think one of my favorites was a person who was a hypnotherapist in real life, pulled the hypnotherapist job from the thing, and actually got me to send them the character sheet because I saved the character sheets. But having the ability to be unique is really important in this space. Because, as I said earlier, we are entertainers, but we are also we draw the audience we need to. If you are low chill, low vibes, you bring in the people who want a low chill, low vibe stream. Most of my streams on Twitch are VR streams, so I play lots of VR rhythm games. So a lot of my skills are to the point where it's all automatic. It doesn't require any attention from me, but it's to the point where it generates custom content, which helps drive engagement. And that's one of the ideas about character battler or character sheets, or build ways that your chat can be involved. And even not only just liking, subbing, following, but giving them a reason to sub and follow. Like if you follow, you get a character skill. And that character skill can then be built onto other things. Like you can use a person's, well, we're talking about Twitch in a moment, but a person on Twitch, has got their unique ID number. So every Twitch person has a unique ID for their account. It's 8 digits long. There's 4 characters, there's 4 skills there that could be endurance, strength, magic, other types of skills. You can use those skills, those numbers, to generate skills. So everything that they are is custom to them and it's built for them. You pull in their the amount of time they've been on Twitch. That can be an XP gauge. So the more time they're on Twitch and interacting with you, that can generate more XP, which makes you then just use some math to work out how many days they've been on there. And that could be their character skills. You just have to look at what the person is, how you want to bring them into your stream, and how you want to interact with them. And because as I said, we're entertainers, we have to work out the best way to keep our chat engaged. And that is the main thing I see with a lot of people who try streaming. They just sit there playing games. But what's the draw card for the person to come and watch you play the game? I think there's 3 reasons a person wants to chat you. 1, you have a really good personality. You know how to engage with the person who's on your audience. 2, you're really good at 2, you're really good at the game. You know enough about the game to be to teach people how to play the game. Or they watch you because they want to see you beat a game. Like I used to do speedrunning. I actually held the world record, which is very apt. I used to hold the world record on Day of the Tentacle Remastered. This game. I actually have a physical copy of Day of the Tentacle Remastered.
Wow.
I used to speedrun this game. So people would tune in to see if you can get that record. And then you got the other people who just come and sit down and watch the chat with the vibes. Or they get engaged in your story. From TTRPGs, now we bring it to this point. Yes, I am a fiddler. I have a pen. You don't look at the audience as other streamers as competition, as Kay said earlier. Everyone is here to make everyone's day better. With everything going on in the world, if you're here, yay! If you're here to watch somebody on Twitch or TikTok or any of the video platforms or social platforms, I'm always of the belief that you should put the energy out into the world that you want to have in the world. And what use is there putting negative energy out in the world? There's enough out there already. It's our job or our duty to put other energy in the world to help negate that energy. If it comes from storytelling, if it comes from being honest with yourself, if it comes from making other people feel better about themselves during the day, it's what we need to do. And we don't get any of that from being negative to everyone else. So we're here to entertain you. And even if you've had a bad day, you know that at 10 p.m. on certain nights, your favorite streamer is streaming. You can sit down, you can chill and enjoy yourself. I'm one of those lucky people who dual stream to TikTok and Twitch. I have OBS access and OBS key access. If you've been thinking about TikTok streaming, that's hard. But I get people on TikTok. I've actually had kids come into my channel and then their parents come in and actually send me messages saying you're such a great influence for our little child. Keep doing what you're doing. And this is what you need to do. If you don't put that energy out, it's not going to be reciprocated. And you just have to keep working on it, I suppose.
Yep.
So from storytelling, from being tech, as David said earlier, we're of the generation that we did IT support. We know where to talk about. Like I used to do IT support, as I said earlier, for government. yes, it might be stressful, it might be challenging for a person, but if you approach it in a clear, calm, and succinct way, your job is to bring a person down to the point where you can help them or lift them up when they feel better about themselves. We have that unique ability and unique skill to do that. As I said, through story, through knowledge, even through just being ourselves. I can keep going on, but I think that's enough of the point.
Yeah, DC says talking tech concepts and going, here's how to make this useful and understandable is a special skill. And it really is. And I'm going to also throw out, hard agree with everything you've said. When you're streaming, it is important, like, unless you have decided I'm going to go full character and I'm absolutely going to commit to being this character when I stream, which, like Dr. Disrespect,
there are successful
people. There are successful
do that.
people. It is, I think it's harder to constantly be a character on stream, but you know, that's me. But you know, we often say, like, being yourself on stream makes it easier, but also be your best self on stream. You don't have to, and I'm also going to throw in, that also doesn't mean you have to focus only on toxic positivity, because everything is not okay all the time. It is okay to not be okay. It is better to say, I'm not doing great tonight, so I'm not going to stream, than it is to come on and trauma dump on your audience. Because number one, that's not fun for not, but number two, that is opening the door for your entire audience to come in and just trauma dump in your stream.
Mm-hmm.
And you are putting that out there. You may not mean to, that may not be your intent. You might not even realize you're doing it. But again, the energy you put out is the energy you put back. And look at David and I, we have been so fortunate. We came in and said, we're going to do a table talk show and we're not going to focus on, we're not going to drag people. We're not going to talk about, like, we're going to talk about when a particular TTRPG company does something that's racist. Yeah, we're going to call that out, but we're going to call it out from a point of education. Why is this a problem and how can we make it better? We're not just going to sit here and go, "Rah." And we've had incredible guests. Like, look at everyone in chat who has been in here. Look at how awesome our chat is. Look at MrLiveProducer sitting here. So thank you all for confirming that we are putting out the energy I hoped we were. Sometimes you don't actually know the energy you're putting out.
Oh, no.
And there's an important lesson that you can take from MrLiveProducer. And that is, don't do the easy thing. Hold on. Stay with me now. Hear me out. Everybody's first impulse is to think a negative thing. And to say a negative thing. And that is just like hardwired into humans as a way to anticipate bad things that are happening so that you don't get got. And so, you know, you hear a lot of discourse online, whether it be Twitter or TikTok or YouTube, of people tearing each other down in a really negative way. And then also, like a large chunk of streamers, and like especially if you go on streaming platforms that are not Twitch, is people playing games by themselves in their room. There's a very popular streamer now, and he said, I spent 2 years streaming to myself before I got this platform. And yes, you should be yourself, but also don't limit yourself to, don't shoot yourself in the foot and say, oh, well, I can't do this because there are other people who are doing what I'm doing. I like horror movies. I don't watch one horror movie and go, oh man, that was great, I'm done. You continue to seek that type of content. So even though there are other people doing what you're doing, that doesn't mean that people aren't going to seek you out, because you continue to look for the things that you enjoy. But MrLiveProducer does great work with OBS, does great work with StreamerBot, and has built all of these like interesting and engaging things. Just getting a VR setup to work and then streaming that has to be a nightmare. And so when I say don't do the easy thing, there are plenty of people that are streaming that don't have any graphics, don't have an overlay, barely figured out how like OBS worked, or like they don't have like being positive is not easy. It's not, and especially not always easy. And being positive in the right way is not easy. Putting in the time and energy into making your stream thrive. I've said more than once, Kay has spent more time working on the tech and back end of this than I have been in front of the camera. And we've been doing this for years now. Kay has said one of the ways to create engagement is short form content. That's the world we live in now. And I know a lot of people who don't know how to make it and who haven't put it. Do the hard thing. Learn to, like, MrLiveProducer has 27 hats. And that's just like in the first closet. There are more hats in other closets in the house. We were talking before, or in the green room, and he was telling me about like, oh, by the way, like, you know, this one little thing. I did all the art for that. I did all the, and like, I can't stick figure. I can't stick figure with AI. I can't like I haven't used AI, but I'm sure that if I tried to get something out of like Midjourney, they'd be like, listen, go elsewhere. And I don't need to be talked down to by an AI. Like I've done customer support already. I don't need it. But do the hard thing, because you will learn a new skill and that'll keep your brain young. And I'm an old guy, so I need to keep my brain young. But also, like, that energy comes through your stream. And that energy comes through in the interactions that you have with people. And so it's not just, oh, well, like, you know, I'm learning new, like every time I'm like, hey, we already have OBS. Like what do we need Streamer.Bot? Like Streamer.Bot doesn't need to, why are you having me make these buttons? Like I don't need these buttons. I can click it. No, you figure out how to do the new thing. You always figure out how to do a new thing, because even if it's useless, now you know how to do a new thing. And yeah, it comes across. So like, be like MrLiveProducer, never sleep, spend all of your time doing all of the things, and play video games. And if you're not speedrunning a retro game, add that to your listing.
Yeah. Well, here's a good example about learning new things. One of the little known facts about StreamerBot is there's a thing called deck support, as in DECK. So you can actually have decks that your mods can have access to that controls your local version of StreamerBot. So if they've forgotten, like one of the things I need to actually do for my stream is have mic selection buttons. So if I've forgotten to turn on the right mic, my mod can look in and say, oh, shivers, you're doing this, you're saying stuff. They can log onto the actual deck and click the microphone and turn it on. Or there's ways of them to help manage your stream. Just little things like that.
David and I set that up. So if David in the middle of a production has to run to the restroom and we get a hate raid, I can just push a button and it's done.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, DC said he and Herb tried it out once. It's great. Yeah. It's wonderful.
Yeah. And you do need to be a member of Discord, because that's how StreamerBot controls who gets access to it. But once you've linked your Discord account to StreamerBot, you're all easy. And that way you can give mods, like mods and VIPs and other people access to control things on StreamerBot. Like another thing which I've built recently, which I'm going to make this publicly available on my coffee once I get my coffee up and running, but a giveaway bot. So you have two text files, one of the stuff that you want to give away, and the other one is where you put the redeemed codes. So if you go to my channel when I'm live, you spend, I think currently it's at 15,000 channel points. You can get yourself a Steam key of just one random game. So it goes through this text file, chooses a random line from the file, and then gives you the game key, and directly messages you the game key. And then it writes down who redeemed it and what the game key was to a second text file with a little bit of little bit more programming, you can adjust it to someone does a redeem, it puts their name in a text file, and then you can use that. Like if you want to do a giveaway on a stream, you say, if you have 20 points, hit the redeem button, one per person, and you can actually have it so that not only can it select the person to give the game to, but it can be a person in chat. You can do a verification check to say, are they a follower? Yes. Are they currently in chat? Yes. Then give it away. You can, by just looking at one piece of code, you can adjust it to do whatever you want. And I'm still in the process of making it easy to adjust, because not everyone knows C# and how C# works with StreamerBot. But one of the things I'm trying to do is, can I make a text file and each line is a setup line? So line 1 is where your files are. Line 2 is where your redemption needs to go. Line 3 is where your usernames are. That's a part I'm getting stuck on at the moment. But as soon as I work that out, I'll make it available for people, because I want to get people away from using online things, online like Stream Elements, StreamerBot, all this kind of stuff. And we're on pre-rolls.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So, and another thing is, so like software, tech in general, is the point is either to make it so that you don't have to do a thing, or to make doing a thing easier.
Oh yes.
Case in point, we love hardware. DC Lacer's in chat, Herb is in chat, and they talk a lot about latest hardware they use. Because of the deck integration in StreamerBot, I personally have saved hundreds of dollars on hardware, because the StreamerBot, or no, the Stream Deck app is like $15 a month. And I don't know how much the decks are. I know they're more than $100.
Price in Australian dollar.
Right. And so there's this physical device I don't have to buy. There's this app on my phone that I don't have to spend $15 a month to subscribe to. And I can send a link to anyone I want once it's set up on the thing. And I can go, like if Kay is streaming and I'm listening to it like on my headphones while I'm in the kitchen doing dishes, and I hear, oh no, that I don't even have to come back to my room and go to my computer. I don't have to go to the physical device. I can go over to my phone and go boop, and it's done.
Yeah.
Like, you know, or like, you know, if I suddenly have like some sort of conniption fit because Kay has given me bad news about a property that I do not like, then Kay can be like, listen, David's just melting down on stream. Be right back. Like, and that's just the limited functionality that we've programmed into it. I'm sure it's far more robust than we have explored.
Yeah, like one of my favorite examples is, again, Excel Draw with move source. Part of move source is also move value. So if you link that move value source to an audio input, you can have finite control over audio. So if you're listening to the chat, or listening to the stream, and you realize, wait, someone's a little bit quiet, you can go into the deck and up that person's volume just a couple of percentages to up their volume. Like, one of the problems about doing tech and being an all-in-one person is sometimes you don't pay attention to audio, don't pay attention to video, don't pay attention to white balance. With an adjustment of how we look at it, we can make it so that your mods, who you trust, can have access to adjust and control things. Or again, unmute and remute. And if you have the wrong title, you can specify it that Stream Deck button, or not Stream Deck, a deck button could control a text input. Let's say someone's got the wrong pronouns in. You can say, either turn off the pronouns or readjust the pronouns through an input. And either using text GDI source or other kind of content, you can do the adjustments that way. Hell, an Excel sheet with the people's information in there, and you have that linked on a on your overlays. there is so many different ways to make things changeable and modifiable for you. Because of my nature of my work, fight shows and all that stuff, it changes on almost an hourly basis. So if red and blue change, if red and blue fight corners change, it takes me 10 seconds in the Excel sheet. I save the Excel sheet and everything gets updated across my forms. Data sources and all that stuff. Yeah.
MLP is the master of spreadsheets. It is so impressive. Like, David knows, I spend a lot of time in Excel sheets. I'm actually redoing my shiny Pokedex spreadsheet. It's a problem. It's a problem.
Hold on.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. But
do you need an intervention?
Yes, but that's not the point.
Okay.
My Excel problem is nothing compared to MLP's. Only mine is a problem, his is a solution.
Okay, well, I can talk about the Excel sheet then. I have an Excel sheet that generates Roll20 handouts. If you've done anything in Roll20, you know how painful it is to do handouts in Roll20. So what it can do is it can also, I've actually adjusted the sheet again. It can bring in text files into the Excel sheet and output the correct JSON to bring it into Roll20.
Wow.
It doesn't do hyperlinks yet.
Why is he biting you? What is his beef?
He's a cat. He shows affection with nods.
Noted. But so like,
okay, put in perspective. It took me 1 month to put in a 300-page book into Roll20 with hyperlinks, images, maps being properly coded, and relevant tables, and tokens and profile pics and everything else to do the entire book in 1 month. And that was before I had everything to the format, which I have it now. It'll probably take me about the same amount of time, but less programming work. And hopefully less maps. Maps are the killer in Roll20.
Yeah.
It has been some time since I have used Roll20, but I remember using Roll20, not even running it. I was playing in a game. And by the end of the second session, I was like, never again. I'm not. This is not the thing. And so one, I'm glad to hear that people are working on and updating Roll20, and now I'm going to go back and look at it. And two, I'm trying to learn programming for better or worse. And everything I read about and everything I hear about is programming is all about problem solving, and programming is all about breaking down a problem to its fundamental elements. And it's also about like figure out what you could do once so that you never have to do it again. And just like the Excel spreadsheet where you're just like, I type the thing in and then everything updates. Probably took a long time to set up.
Oh yeah.
But now, especially when you have a time crunch, it, saves you having to run around and click all the things.
And I've gotten to peek behind the curtain a little, and it's like he dumps in this info and then it auto formats to fit the page. Like, it's beautiful.
Like one of the great, and this is another thing which some people don't know about OBS. You can make text resize in OpenGDI text. You put your text in there, you right click on the layer, go to edit transform, and then edit transform, you adjust it to scale to inner bounding box. So no matter how long the text goes, it will automatically resize to that length. Simple little tricks like that people know, but sometimes you need to refresh them. So one of the things I'm doing as part of my OBS rebuild is when I do them on Twitch, I also upload the videos onto my YouTube account. And I'm going to start YouTube. YouTube is weird enough as it is.
Yep.
Trying to build anything, and this is the problem with social media at the moment. You have to be over all the socials, but all socials have different reasons and different things. Like Instagram is pretty much the Facebook of social media nowadays. You get a completely different group of people on Instagram they do on TikTok. TikTok is, I find, even just YouTube nowadays, is very outrage marketed. Like if you want to generate engagement, you have to be outraged, you have to be combative, and that's just not the way I like to do things. So yes, you may build your audience slower, but you build a more engaged audience.
But yes, so we are nearing the end of our time with you, which is a shame because
I know.
Because there's so much more to cover.
Right?
Oh, there's so much more.
much.
Like I could talk a lot about if you like how to set up fly pack systems for events. A fly pack is when you have everything inside of a big giant case which weighs 30 kilograms and you move to different events.
We
I can
only
probably
use freedom units here.
Right.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
I'm looking
Oh,
at it
yeah.
now.
But David's
This-
Googling
this-
right now.
66
Yes.
pounds.
Yeah.
For
they're
those
heavy.
of us.
Yeah.
Heavy shit, yeah.
It's like a pull-out screen. You can have yourself a full-on audio mix, and everything that hooks into that and hooks into a computer. I could talk about how I find using large language models to help with fast creation of content. Like yes, having your own custom content is great, but sometimes you don't have the time to do that. Like to write the 320 skills I've got in my follower alert would have taken me a good couple of weeks. With an LLM, it took me about half a day because I wanted to have this particular format into place.
Mhm.
There's so much from a production point of view that you can talk about.
So, this is what I would like to kind of point you towards as we wrap down. And audience, if you have questions, if you have things you would like to know, now is the time to shout them out. For what it's worth, I think Mr. Live Producer and Mike Bullen from Penny Arcade could have a lot to talk about on the technical/programming side of things, says Rex. JD says agree.
I'm
So-
still a little fish in a very big pond at the moment.
But we have a lot of people on here who stream, some more seriously than others. Some, like JD, does incredible. JD has a backyard. I am so jealous. JD puts up a camera and I get to watch hummingbirds in JD's backyard. And growing up in the country, I miss hummingbirds, right?
Wrong one.
but,
No, literally.
Um,
Here you go. This is a Logitech Mevo Start camera. You can get these for about $500. These are wireless NDI cameras. These can just be controlled through a USB or through a POI, Power over Ethernet. And these will make great little portable cameras if you want to do outside shots. Or if you want to have a handheld camera.
amazing.
Just knowing what tech is out there and how you can convert it. You got OBS Tailbot, which I'm getting one of those in to do testing for my day job, to do automatic camera follow for fighters. So I can chuck it on the corner and it can follow the fighters. So it gives me an extra camera for my day job.
Nice.
Phone Tripod does exactly as it, JD Lady. The concept is making what you have work for what you want.
Mhm. So my question is, if we've got yes, old phones as cameras for the I have absolutely set up a dice camera off an old phone. I'm not necessarily saying beginner tips because most folks who I'm seeing hang out in chat have streamed more than once, right? They have a decent setup, but like, what are your like beginner pro tips for OBS and or StreamerBot and or set up to just take things just to the next level a little bit?
Learn nesting. The nesting is a process of using scenes within scenes. Like a good example is I have an audio scene, and then I have that audio scene overlaid on every other scene that I want audio on. So so some people would actually have it as a DSK, a downstream key. So an audio downstream. So whatever scene you're on, there's always audio there. Because that's one of the things I always see a lot. When people create their overlays, they add audios. Yeah. Yeah.
Do it here, Matt. I'll be happy to show you, or MrLiveProducer can set it up and show you.
Yeah, downstream keys are simple and easy to set up. So again, if you have your follow alert, have it on a downstream key. So no matter what scene you're on, you just have to change it on one scene and it adjusts to everything else.
I think I actually
when I tell
learned
you,
that.
it was the biggest game changer.
I
to
think
my
I
OBS
actually learned that trick from DC Lasser. I think.
Yeah.
No, it's great. We set up audio and we set up like our alerts and overlays, and then we just dump those into all the other scenes.
Yeah, don't even need to dump it into other scenes. There is a plugin, again, from Exceldro called Downstream Keyer, which allows you select the layer, like you select the scene that you want to overlay on everything else. And then you can just use it that way. And it is a great little tip to take full control over your audio and your video. What else? Just get around and playing around in OBS. Have an idea about what you want, and you work backwards. Like I want to have an image here. I want this image to pulse with a color when someone follows. So you link a StreamerBot. You put an effect onto it. You just use StreamerBot to turn a layer on and off. Okay. One thing that you will need to be very aware of, the way that OBS handles scenes and sources. If you apply an effect to a source, and you use that source in multiple different layers, that effect will apply to every version of that source. But if you nest that layer in a group on that source and apply the effect to the group layer, it will only affect it on that group. So you have to think about your effects. Like you can use the same video file in one file, but then you group it with other scenes if you want different effects. Like one which I'm working on at the moment is a Game Boy camera effect, or an old pixel effect. So if someone redeems it, that we can turn the VR game into like an old 1980s Game Boy. So you can adjust your frame rate. There's a lot that you can do with it. Just don't be afraid to make a new version of OBS. Like you can download OBS, the zip file, zip it to a different directory, and then put in the folder portable, OBS portable mode.txt, and it'll convert it from a normal OBS install to a portable version of it, and it'll save everything in that one folder. That way you can just play around in OBS and just experiment without touching your main OBS. And that's how you learn. You experiment. Don't feel like you're going to break stuff.
Oh.
Mimics. If you give me a second, I can get you the exact text you need to put in if you want.
MrLiveProducer makes magic happen. Which, while he's digging for that, I also want to plug. David has been awesome in dropping his links. But if you are a streamer and you are looking for something a little bit more advanced than maybe you could do, if you are looking for something custom in OBS or in StreamerBot, MrLiveProducer is available for hire and does really cool stuff. Like I said, he made our Pathfinder Party Up redeem.
How long did that take me to do?
Not long. Like, I think 45 minutes, but part of that 45 minutes was you got derailed teaching me something else.
Oh, yeah. I'm always in the process. If I'm going to show someone, you don't show them this is how you do it. You show them this is how and this is why it works. Because that way, when it breaks, they have enough information to actually do the troubleshooting themselves. So if they come back to you and say, all right, this broke, how do I fix it? I can then say, well, have you tried this? Have you tried renaming a text file? Have you tried formatting it? They've done the basic troubleshooting, but they also understand the reason how the effect works.
Great. So, throwing it out there that if you are doing a live production something, if you know someone who is doing a live production or is getting ready to do a TTRPG and wants a super custom something made, you've got a subject matter expert available. And as you can see, he's not scary. He's very nice and helpful. So, like, you can ask.
Yeah. Yeah, again, you just have to be aware of time zones. Time zones are my biggest enemy at the moment. It's my BBEG, the time zone.
Yes. And audio
You have
cables.
Oh. Yeah, I was rewrapping some XLR cables before we came on stream tonight.
Cable management is just
Oh.
a beast.
Like, this is what I was working on last night. This is a pencil case full of connector cables, connector connections. Because when I'm doing shows, I need to actually have quick and easy access to different cables connections, so that I can tell my offsiders, say, hey, look, go into the red pencil case. I need a BNC to BNC connector, should be down the bottom, and they can just bring out the Ziploc bags, and it's all written on the actual bags. Because at a live event, if something's gone wrong, you need to fix it within 10 seconds. So having labels, having like pencil cases, I need to actually do one for this, but little key rings on them. So a person can just look at it instead of having to open it up. They can do that. Roadcasters are great, but also work on your tech. Figure out what tech does the job. Like, there's so much we can talk about, but I know I ran out of time. So hopefully you'll come on again.
We would love to. Check out Chaosium's Roll20 modules if you're interested. You know who did the conversions for them. Check out MrLiveProducer's YouTube for how to build your OBS. Check out their site for your Ko-fi isn't up yet, so we don't have.
Ko-fi is up. It's linked on the bio page.
But you are going to have more stuff for people to download and or donate as they download.
Yes.
For StreamerBot tips, tricks, and cool additions. And again, subject matter expert here who can help you out with all sorts of stuff. So I think, unless chat, if you have any final questions, again, we can be here all night, but I want to be respectful of everyone's time and let MrLiveProducer get on with his morning, which is just very strange. So we are off, like I said, for the rest of this week. We will be back right here on Tuesday for more of the Table Talk Show. Who do we have next week? We have another guest. We're going to be talking to some folks from the Horde of Tales, and I am very excited. I think Curfew might be part of it, but we're going to be learning about all the charity stuff that they are doing. Lots of cool charity TTRPG stuff there. David, who the heck is you, and what the heck has we been doing here?
Hi, I am in awe of MrLiveProducer and all the things that he does. I'm also David sometimes, most of the time. But this is the Table Talk Show, where every week we talk about TTRPG stuff, how to be a better player, how to be a better GM this week, how to be a better person as usual, and also how to be better at tech. All with a focus on intersectionality and inclusivity so that everybody can have a good time.
And MrLiveProducer, give us your final thoughts and the things you most want to plug so that we can support you and thank you for sharing your knowledge with us.
Well, this has been it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. I said earlier, I'm still a small fish in a very big pond, but I think the energy that we need to bring out is important. And just the way that we promote ourselves, the way that just being ourselves is important, especially in this current time and everything else, and support everything you can. But yeah, I'm MrLiveProducer. You can catch me on most socials under MrLiveProducer. Links have been dropped in chat. If you ever see me on Twitch or on TikTok or anywhere and have any questions about OBS and stuff, I'm more than happy to sit down and just quickly talk about this type of content all the time. I drive my chat insane sometimes because people go, oh, hey, do this. And I go out and I'm playing Beat Saber in VR, and here I am just talking complete mechanics about, okay, do you want to go into OBS? Do you want to go into this? And I go, oh, wait a second, and then do a strike, and then
While playing the very advanced, very fast levels of
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And the camera moves, and I'm keep taking glances at both my TikTok chat and my Twitch chat, which chat can't see, but I'm monitoring I'm not kidding. I'm monitoring a preview screen to make sure the stream's going okay. I'm monitoring TikTok chat. I'm monitoring Twitch chat. Up to recently, I was monitoring my VR because my VR was having a bit of a stutter. I think there was a running joke that there's no VR stream with no problem. If there's no problem on your VR stream, it hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
I did some adjustments. I've gotten rid of that now because it's been okay for the last 2.5 weeks.
Fingers crossed. Knock on wood.
Knock on something that
Knock
you
on wood. Yeah, and it's just there's so much there that you can work with and concept, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions people have, because we're here in it together. We're here to make the world a better place, and if what I need to do is help people with the OBS and teach them or show them how to do stuff, I'm more than happy to do that, because I know I'll bring their content up to a better level, and it makes streaming as a whole better. Like, no matter what you stream, no matter how you present your content, the more we can do it in a professional way and an honest and wholesome and a engaging way, it makes what we do together more tangible and more of an art form that's more of appreciated. Because you go to a thing that says, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a streamer. So I usually lead with, I live stream combat sports. People say that, oh, you don't do game streaming? I do game streaming as well. I do that on my off time because it also helps me develop my skills for my day job. Yeah, you can catch me on my socials. I don't bite too hard, and I'm not scary. Apparently, some people have thought I am very scary. I am not. As my partner says, I'm a cute, cuddly teddy bear.
I am intimidated by your wealth of knowledge, but that's
There's lots of practice.
Yes.
Lots of practice.
Yes, I am a community manager, so jack of all trades, master of none, but actually reaching some decent mastery of a few. I feel like we're getting there. It's taken some time, but we're getting there. And again, stick with it. So thank you all so much. I have been Kay. Is it that way? Yes. He has been David. He has been MrLiveProducer. This is Chaotic Wholesome Presents. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're going to go raid over, and we will see you all. Oh, no, we'll be back Saturday? Is it Saturday? Saturday. We'll be back Saturday at noon for episode 3 of Body and Soul. We are going into the 90s. And that's going to be a treat. Thank you all so much. MrLiveProducer, you've been wonderful. Thank you. Be kind to yourself, be excellent to others, and we will see you all next time. Bye.